Well, hello, what's up? Another video talking about Monster Hunter, okay? So, in my last video about like the performance and stuff, I was wrong, but I was right too. You probably seen tons of video about the performance on PC, right? And the NATO NATO the native performance and frame generation. Well, look, we all know the 3070 and below really, the Monster Hunter experience isn't that great. Well, Wilds isn't that great. Last video I showed you like Dragon Dogma 2 and Monster Hunter World run pretty good, look pretty good. But, you can use frame generation. That is a thing. But you should know there's a caveat. If you're a PC player and keep up with this kind of stuff, there's a caveat to it. Yes, you can double your frames, and the game will look pretty decent. I'm going to show you in a second. But with that, you have latency, and it doesn't feel as smooth because you got the real frames, then in between the real frames, you have people like to say fake frames. It like anticipates like the next frame. It's like real frame anticipates a frame, another frame, then like the real frame. So that's the reason it feels so weird, when you're playing it, and so like not as responsive. But if you want to see how it looks and what kind of performance you can get out of it by using frame generation, and if you don't mind, the performance and like the latency that comes with it, I mean, well, you might be fine. You know, me personally, the whole reason I made the first video because I wanted to run decent natively, without the frame generation and stuff. So I'll show you. We can look at we still have the benchmark. We don't have the beta anymore, so we can't go inside the beta. But learning from the last video, what you see in the benchmark, that's pretty much what you would have got in the beta. Okay, don't be stupid like me. Like, oh yeah, it may perform better in the actual beta. This benchmark doesn't really mean that much. I'm stupid. So let's actually get into it. Okay, so we're in the game. Well, not the game, but the benchmark test. Let's go to settings. You're gonna have this pop up, maybe. I think because I had it already enabled, but it's a little thing you have to do. So, well, it didn't change it. So, I have an NVIDIA card. Mine's a gigabyte NVIDIA, like 3070 Ti. But if you go with the AMD FSR, you can enable frame generation. And actually, I have mostly everything on high in here. I got some stuff enabled, disabled, some stuff I don't like motion blur, so I'm gonna turn that off. There's a few more other things, like I have that off, that's on high. Fog, I mean, you can I did not mean to do that. You can enable some stuff, and you see the RAM usage. It's almost reaching that red line. But a lot of this is on high, some's on medium, all that good stuff. Now, if you remember from my last video about this, it wasn't looking so great. But let's actually go ahead and look at how the performance is. Now, what you see here, this is just a cutscene. You can see my average is like 97, in the 90s, right? But with frame generation, it just multiplies what your frames are. So I'm at low 100 right now. We're just gonna say 100. So if I didn't have frame generation on, it's actually at 50 something, and like low 50s at that. This is just a cutscene. So yes, it looks nice. right now, and those frames aren't bad. But let's actually skip ahead to the future, you know, where it's kind of like into the gameplay. All right, so we're in gameplay right now. This will technically be gameplay. Now the frames, I mean, still kind of hovering around the same thing. So you're seeing around like 80, high 90s or whatever. It's keep back and forth and stuff. But this is with frame generation, like I said before, and these frames, I mean, this would be like low 40s, but it does look a lot better. Not perfect. No, everything's on high. I wouldn't say this is like the best looking, but it's a lot better than when I was talking about in the first video. If you don't mind a little latency with the gameplay and stuff, this is fine. I wouldn't recommend this like in every game, especially like a lot more competitive game. This might be okay in this type of game, and this doesn't work in every single game. I tried this and Dragon Dogma 2, you know, I couldn't get frame generation to be enabled in that game. But truthfully, I played like an hour or two of it, and it looked pretty good. Like I tweaked a few things in that and got a little bit more performance. Like I was hitting like 80 to 90 frames most of the time. So I don't know. That game may be a little bit more optimized than Monster Hunter. And like I said, we only got to play the demo and we only got the benchmark test. So I'm pretty sure that probably it's a lot more optimized when the actual game comes out. So, you know, these numbers right here, they could change. And no, I'm just making this video so you can make a what's the word I'm looking for? A responsible and knowledgeable purchase, because you know, I don't want you to buy a game and doesn't perform well on your system. No, I would hate that and stuff. But you see the frames, and you know, if you, like I said, if you don't mind a little latency with the gameplay, which personally I never played with flame generation on, and so I don't know how bad it is. Some people say it's noticeable, some people say it's not. I feel like it's probably more noticeable if you play a lot of games and probably like in competitive shooters and stuff. I don't think it'd be that bad in a game like this. But I just want to let you know that. And one thing, I'm going to be streaming Monster Hunter Wilds the day it comes out. But tell me something. Let me know in the comments if you want to see the difference between the 3070 Ti with 8 gigs of VRAM. Here we go. Or this is actually the 3080 Ti with 12 gigs of RAM. Now this is all I could afford. This is like 700 some bucks. Yeah, you may say it's a lot. It is a lot, but this was my tax money, all of my tax money. That's how much I don't make. But, you know, I got this for a little more VRAM. Hopefully it works in my system. That's my big issue. But let me know in the comments if you want to see the difference between 3070 Ti and a 3080 Ti. You know, with the 70 with 8 gigs of VRAM and the 3080 with 12 gigs of VRAM. It's not much more VRAM, but it's more. So yeah, don't think I'm like trying to throw that in your face or anything. I just want to make, you know, these videos as knowledgeable as possible with the limited hardware I do have. And like I always say, like, I know I'm not the only one in the boat. I'm not the only one who can't afford a 3090 or a 40 series card or even a 50 series card. No. We can only afford so much. So, and we don't want to buy a game that we can't really run that well and looks terrible. That sucks. But these are the numbers, by the way. There you go. That's the numbers. It says good, so it's not even super great with frame generation still on. Average frames 92. So yeah, not the best, but it's still good. But I'm gonna let you go. And like I always say, leave me a like, subscribe to me, and ring that bell for more. And ring that bell for more videos. And like I always say, have a good day or night whenever you're watching this. Peace.